on, everybody? It is your boy Arrows. Welcome to a not a new series. Welcome to a series of videos as we prep for rotation in the Disney Lorcana trading card game. We're going to put a primary focus on the main deck that I want to play. Still coming for you, Powerline. The main deck I want to play into rotation is just going to be a variation of what I took to my set championships back for Arcasi's Island, which we came fourth in. We're, of course, talking about our purple amethyst deck. Our purple amethyst words. Our purple steel deck. I'm really excited. I have a list of what I want to do for as of right now. We're going to look at some of the, so we're going to show you the list that I have. Then we're going to show you the list that I want. And then we're going to show you some of the cards that are on my radar, either from reprints or new cards. So we're going to get into showing you what we have now, and then we're going to look at what it could be. And as I'm ordering cards or getting cards, we're going to update the video and show you guys what we have and what we're still missing. So I did this a little bit with the Mountain Dew discard deck way back when, but I ended up abandoning that build and going for a more budget friendly build. But let's get into what we're running. So not a lot has changed from my fourth place set championship video. If you want, I can link you that down there. You can hear about matches. That was for Arcasi's Island, but we're still running our 4 Chernobog's followers. 2-1, cost 1, inkable, quest for 1. When we quest, we get to banish and draw a card. 3 Diablo Ravens. When it's banished for any reason, draw a card. 1-1, 0-1, and quest for 1. 3 of arguably one of the best 1-drops ever in the Magic Broom. It's 1-1-2, quest for 1, and when you play another character, you can banish and draw a card. And rounding out, we have 2 copies of Hook, Forceful Duelist, 1-1-2, Challenger 2. Just a really good early pressure card. We're running 3 copies of Snake. When we play Snake, we can bounce another character or we banish Snake. We're running 3 copies of Smee, a Bumbling Mate. I would always love to run 4, but I just never had the opportunity to pick up a 4th one. 3-3, quest for 2 at the end of turn. If we do not have Captain, he takes the damage. 2 copies of Honeymarin. When we play her, if there's an exerted character, we gain a lore. 2 copies of Calhoun. Challenging wasn't really a huge part of this deck when we made it, so that's why we're only running the 2 copies. If she comes down, she gets a hit off, she dies, we get to draw, we get 2 lore. This deck was all about speed lore, and you're going to see as we get into the 3s and 4s and stuff. 3 copies of Fox, same as Snake, except for it has Rush, so it can attack the turn, it can challenge the turn it comes out. 3 Cobras. I could just never really find the deck space for the 4th one. 3 ended up working out really well for us, though. When we play it, we can discard a card and gain 2 lore, and it has the Vanish ability. When it's targeted for an action, it dies. 3 copies of White Rose. When it comes out, we gain a lore. 3 copies of Pete. I know at the time a lot of people were running 2 of these, but songs were kind of heavy in my format, so in my area, so we ran 3. When you play it, your opponent can't play any actions for the start of their turn. For their next turn, actions also include songs. 2 copies of Crab. I had so many people at locals telling me to take this out, but I'm like, it's just a really good card. When you play it and when it leaves the field, you can give something Challenger 3. They get +3 when challenging. 4 copies of Merlin Goat. On play and when it leaves the field in any way, shape, or form, you gain a lore. 2 copies of Genie. I just didn't have a 3rd at the time. That is one of the big things we're looking at going into our post-rotation deck. 2-4, quest for 2, has evasive, gets to draw a card when it enters. 1 copy of Merlin Rabbit. 2-3, quest for 1. When it enters or when it leaves, you get to draw a card. 1 copy of Gantu. This is just a really good card against any kind of song-based deck. It's a really good card against items. If your opponent plays a lot of item variants, this is really good to get rid of that. 2 copies of Elsa. Oh, I guess I'll tell you what Gantu does. When you play them, neither player can sing songs till the start of your next turn, and each action or item you play costs 2 more. 2 Elsa, the 5th Spirit. 2-5, quest for 1, has Rush and Evasive, and when you play, you get to exert something. And then because I just think this is a hilarious card, 1 copy of the Duck Magician. 3 costs, 5/6. Your opponent needs 25 lore to win. Into our songs, we're running 3 copies of Friends, draw 2 cards, 2 copies of Strength because I only had the 2 and they were ridiculously expensive at the time. Deal damage equal to the number of characters on your side of the field to your opponent, one of your opponent's characters. 2, Let the Storm Rage On. Deal 2 damage to chosen character, draw a card. 2, and then along came Zeus. Deal 5 damage to a character or location. 1 copy of I Find on My Platinum. My friend Andrew plays a lot of items in his challenge deck, but also Ruby Steel items. Sorry, not Ruby Steel. Ruby Sapphire items, Sapphire Steel items at the time. 2 copies of Grab Your Sword, do 2 damage to everything. I will never take this card out of my decks as long as I can. Being able to spread 2 damage across the board is really good to clean up KOs with Calhoun and Fox that you might not normally get. And 3 copies of the Library. This is just a really good card. If you watched my set chance video way back when for Arcades Island, you know, in one of my matches, somebody played a Be Prepared when I had 3 characters here, one of which was a goat. So I got like a lore and I got 3 cards. Fantastic. That is the deck as it is now. Like I said, not a lot of changes heading into anything. Because I played Emerald Aggro Pile at my Reign of Jafar set championships. I actually posted a video for that yesterday. If you're watching this when it goes live on Thursday, that was good. Now we do have there are some changes that I would have liked to have made to this like right away. Like I would have liked to have made room for an extra Cobra and maybe an extra Smee, but again, I didn't have the extra Smee, and I just didn't really know what to take out for the Cobra, and I didn't want it to go too far over how many cards there already was. Now I'm pretty sure it's 62. But let's get in and show you what I want the deck to look like. All right, so you've seen how the deck is now. I'm going to show you how I want the deck to look going forward. So this is our first stab at Steel Amethyst post-rotation. So what this video series is going to do is as I collect these cards, we're going to slowly change the deck that we have into what we want. So here is what we have so far. So now this isn't including anything that's been revealed for set 9. We're going to talk about those cards in just a few minutes because they're not really on any of these things yet. So we're using Dreamborn for this. I'm sure it's probably on like Lorcana GG and the other ones, but I prefer Dreamborn. It has an app for your phone. Fantastic. So 3 Diablos are staying because it's really, we don't really have a lot of solid 1-drops pending reprints so far. So yes, Diablo is definitely going to be staying. This Diablo is actually going to be staying. We're going into 3 Palace Guards. This is just a really good card. It's a 1-drop, 1/4, really good numbers on a 1-drop. Quest for 1. It has Vanish, but it is what it is. Really good card. We're also running 3 copies of Happy, the Lively Knight. 2/1 for a 1-drop evasive on our turn is kind of fantastic. Definitely going to allow us to put some early pressure on a lot of things. 2 copies of Honey Marin still. We're running 1 copy of Madam Mim Tiny Adversary. She's just really good. She's Challenger 1 and she gives everything else Challenger 1. So if we have to open Happy turn 1, her turn 2, we can put a lot of pressure on some early game threats. 3 copies of Raja, 3/3 stat line, quest for 1, cost 2, and has Vanish, also inkable. We're upping our copies of Calhoun to 1. We are going to be potentially doing more challenging in this deck going forward. So having Calhoun here is a really good call in an extra slot. 3 copies of Doc. My original build did not have Doc because I didn't have any. So we are going to be acquiring 3. He's a 1/3, quest for 1, uninkable. And when you play him, you can discard your hand and draw 2 cards. Upping our Cobra count to 4 now that we have the space for it. Still, we're dropping our White Rose count down to 2 as opposed to the 3 because we're adding in 2 copies of Benja. Benja has been announced as a reprint. for Fabled, so we are going to be running 2 copies of him. Item destruction is always a good time. Items are always going to be a thing. Coils are going to be here for a while. There's new items coming out like every set. Benja is still a really good card, and he's a 2/3 that quests for 3. Quest for 2. Upping our copies of Pete to 4. Powerline is going to be a thing. All those Powerline cards they've revealed so far have been really good songs. We're getting solid songs back for Ruby. Pete just seems like a really good call. Upping our Genie count to 3. We're adding in 3 copies of Iago, Giant Spectral Parrot. This card is just really good. There are still some usable locations post-rotation, so he's really good to run into those. He's a 4/6, so he's just really good for everything. He's evasive. Just a really good card. Combos in very nicely with our Elsa. We're upping that to 3 as well. Evasive, Rush, you know what she does. We're adding in 2 copies. This is probably my favorite card that we are adding into this deck. We're adding in 2 copies of Namari, Single-Minded Rival. When you play this card and at the start of your turn, you may draw a card, then choose and discard a card. So we're constantly drawing and discarding, which feeds her ability. This character gets +1 for each card in your discard. She's going to be really good to challenge into things, and she also quests for 2 herself. And 1 copy of Monstro, Infamous Whale. This card is just really good. I don't know how often we'll get it out, but at an 8 cost, has Rush, choose and discard a card. Ready this character, he can't quest for the rest of the turn. If we get him out, we can quest with him. Discard a card, which powers up Namari, bring him back up, crash into something else. Really good card. Into our actions. So this is where the deck is going to take a huge change as of right now, because we don't really have a lot of Steel songs reprinted. Steel or Amethyst songs have been announced for reprint. So we're running 3 copies of Fire the Cannons and 3 copies of Finders Keepers. Finders Keepers lets us draw cards. Fire the Cannons is a good, cheap, early damage card, which is really good. Into our songs, we are going with 4 copies of Strength of Raging Fire. It is going to be a shop promo, so it's going to be really easy to attain, and they're kind of cheap right now. So we're going to grab a couple copies of those. 2 copies of Beyond the Horizon. This is, in my opinion, a more disruptive version of A Whole New World. Yes, it's slightly less beneficial for us because we're only drawing 3 cards, but it is more beneficial on our opponent. If they have a really good hand, a really big hand, we can drop them down to 3, which is just fantastic. So, and of course, our 3 copies of the library as well. So that is what we are looking at so far for post rotation Amethyst Steel. I really like how this build is looking on paper. But then we have gotten some new cards that we want to look at into Fabled. So we are going to show you some of those right now, and we're going to talk about them. So let's go to that part of the video. And speaking of Set 9 Fabled, so a lot of these cards have not been like, we haven't really gotten a lot of stuff for Fabled on purple and steel right now. Not a lot of new cards, not a lot of good new cards that work for like a generic strategy. Honorable mentions go out to Little John, Sir Reginald, who was released. He's an uncommon, uninkable 2/2. When you play this character, choose 1. Chosen hero gains resist +2 for the turn, which is fantastic, especially if you want to challenge into things, and deal 2 damage to chosen villain character. So he gets like some cool stuff. But like as far as like Steel goes, we haven't really gotten a lot of cool new toys. Like we have some like honorable mentions in like the reprint slot, like Tinkerbell, Giant Fairy, the Captain Hook that gets you back Fire the Cannons, the 2-drop Robin Hood that you can tap it to deal 1 damage. Like we have honorable mentions in the Steel category. In the Amethyst category, a little bit less. We can give honorable mentions to Belle, Aspiring Mystic. That is a really good card that you can use to move damage. She's back. The Cusco Wanted Llama is kind of outdated for what this deck does now. So we're kind of like, I don't want to say we're kind of hands tied right now. And as we see more cards revealed for Fabled, either in reprints or new cards, we'll obviously update this list if there are cards that I think will be really good for this deck. So we are starting off with, honestly, I think probably one of the best new revealed cards for this set in Dumbo, Ninth Wonder of the Universe. He's a 4-cost, inkable, 3/3, quest for 1, evasive. Has the ability that you can tap him and pay 1 to draw a card and gain a lore, which is fantastic. And then also has the ability, also gives that ability to other characters with evasive, where you can tap 1, tap it, tap that character, tap 1, and gain a lore, draw a card. So you can draw lots of cards, gain lots of lore, especially in like the late game. If you can play this in your late game with ways to make things evasive, you can do a lot. For us, it's only gonna work for a little bit of time. We only really run Elsa, Genie, and I guess on our turn Happy. That is evasive. Oh, and Iago. Okay, so maybe this is working out more than I initially thought. So, but that is what it is. There is a 3-drop Dumbo in the set that also gives everything evasive. Gives one thing evasive, sorry. So that is another honorable mention. Timothy Q Mouse as a card that I think will fit nicely in our number 2 slot. While you have a character with evasive in play, he gains +1 lore. He's a 1/4, which is fantastic stat lines for that kind of ability. So you might be able to get like another solid 2 to 4 lore out of him, especially in the early turn. Especially with Happy as your 1-drop now that has evasive on our turn. Jasmine is a 5-cost 3/7 quest for 2. During your turn, this character gains evasive, but oh my god, her other ability fits in very nicely with Namari as well. Choose and discard a card. This character gets Challenger 3 this turn. So she gets Challenger 3, which means she's going to be a 6/7 going into things, which is really good. And also, discarding a card from her hand powers up Namari, makes her even stronger, which is so good. Lilo, Best Explorer Ever, is a 3-drop super 2/2 quest for 1. When you play this character, your other characters gain Challenger +2. So she gives everything Challenger +2. In my initial set 9 build, I had the Jafar and the Yelena that give something Challenger 2. This is much better. So we can drop it, give everything Challenger 2. Really good card for board wiping. And then whenever this character quest, chosen alien character gains Challenger 2. There is a really good Stitch in Arena Jafar. He's a 3/4, I believe. Quests for 1, but if he banishes a character in a challenge, he is gonna get a lore and a card. So really good there. You could definitely add in those Stitches as well. They're very good. I just don't have any in the current build right now. And then rounding out our new cards that we can use, this Ursula is pretty darn good, and I think depending on what we get revealed for cards, either new cards or cards that are being reprinted for songs in the Steel and Amethyst slots. 5-cost, 3/4, quest for 1, super rare. Sing for me. When you play this character, exert chosen opposing ready character. Then you may play a song with cost equal to or less than the exerted character's cost for free. So we're essentially making their characters sing for us. So if we tap a 4-cost, we can sing Strength for Raging Fire. So good. So good. If we tap like a 5-cost, we can sing anything. Like if we get Along Came Zeus back, we can tap a 4-cost and sing Along Came Zeus with their character. This is just a really, really good card. And I definitely think out of all 5 of these so far, that is definitely the highest candidate to be put into our deck. And it's going to be so good. I'm so excited. But let me know what you guys think. I'm actually getting like super excited for Lorcana again. This set's reprint selections so far have been fantastic. As the set releases, we will do another set review like we did for Reign of Jafar. Probably only focused in on the new cards though. I probably won't focus in too much on the reprints. Maybe we'll talk about how the reprints affect the game and what they do. But I'm really excited for this set. Hopefully you guys are too. I think we're getting a lot of really cool stuff. I'm going to be making a Powerline video. It's coming. Be prepared for it. It's going to be good. But yeah, thank you guys for checking out the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Ding the notification bell if you want to be alerted to whenever we post amazing card game content. And as always, friends, I will see you when I see you. Bye.